how many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 14P Fantasy. As you know, I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we are breaking down 3 running back sleepers that might not be on your radar for this 2022 class. Obviously, the top 4, pretty much everybody knows at this point. You're talking Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, a personal favorite of mine, Rashad White. Obviously, those guys are not sleepers by any stretch of the imagination at this point. However, there are going to be other running backs drafted. And yes, a lot of them are going to be terrible. This is a painfully average class outside of the top 3 or 4 guys. And, we're not going to get too many surprise day 2 picks, I don't think. Obviously, if we do, running backs that go day 2 are 10 times more likely. I don't know if that's the real number, but, usually more likely to hit than guys going round 4 and back. So we'll adjust rankings as we get NFL draft capital. But for now, these are 3 guys we're keeping an eye on because if they do land in the right spot, they could be a great pickup. So before we get into these 3 names here, again, guys, if you like the video, like what I'm doing, Marco's doing, Preston is doing, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video. If you've got questions, comments, drop it below. Patreon link is in the bio. You know the drill. All right, let's just get into them. Number 1, and it is Jerome Ford from Cincinnati. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Jerome Ford, he transferred from Alabama and then exploded onto the scene at Cincy. And what we saw from him in Cincinnati the last 2 years was, he is a straight line hammer. The dude, again, 5'11", 210, runs a 4.4-ish 40. So great straight line speed and just runs with power, just violent power. And typically, what you're looking for from these later round backs is pass catching ability. And he did demonstrate some. He caught 20 passes this last year at Cincy. Again, a target share just under 6%. So not anything to write home about, but he does have some ability to catch passes. But again, what you're looking at Jerome Ford for is red zone work, long touchdown runs, and just the ability for one cut and gone. That's what you're going to get from him. So if he lands in the right system, and I don't know if he's necessarily like a fit in San Francisco because it may almost sound like I'm describing Elijah Mitchell. I don't think that's going to be his, best suited offense, really. You didn't see a ton of it at Cincinnati, but again, he has to fall into the right spot. If he lands in a place like Atlanta, where he has a chance to be the true, first, second down running back, I think Jerome Ford could find his way into some top 24 seasons in his career. I don't ever think he's a guy that's going to be a top 10, top 5 running back in terms of fantasy. The pass catching all around just isn't there, to that level. But again, given injury, I think he could be a nice plug and play, a guy you should be looking for, 3rd, 4th round of your rookie drafts. Again, a guy to keep an eye on. Next on the list is, again, another player that I think is a lot more likely than Jerome Ford to hit, and that's Tyler Allegeier. Tyler Allegeier is a player right now that is very trendy on Twitter. He's had a couple of weeks here where he is, the trendy sleeper, and I get it. Is he great at anything? I'm not going to say yes. Is he pretty good at some stuff, particularly running and catching the ball? Absolutely. Again, he's not a freak athlete. He runs a 4.6. He's very much a middle of the road type of athlete. However, he is patient behind the line of scrimmage. Even though he doesn't have long speed or really speed to the outside, his patience creates a ton of gaps for him. Again, don't think Le'Veon Bell, because he's not. But that type of patience is something he can bring to an NFL team. He doesn't need perfect blocking to succeed. That's something Jerome Ford's going to need. He's not overly creative, whereas Algiere knows how to work in minimal space. And given how big he is, that's shocking, right? And then when you look at what he's able to do in the red zone, again, 23 touchdowns on the ground this season, over 1,600 yards. And then he's adding in 28 catches with a 10% target share. That's, let me make sure I get it right, in the 78th percentile of college running backs. So again, he is an above average pass catcher, an above average runner, he just lacks long speed, and that's the reason he's probably not getting picked on day 2. If he ends up as a 3rd-round pick, he's going to fly out my board. But right now, he looks like a mid to late 2nd-rounder in rookie drafts, 1 QB or super flex. I think when you get to that point, you can put anybody there. But he is a guy, again, like Jerome Ford, though, is going to need a good situation. He's going to need an opportunity. I mean, I think that's always the case with these type of players. That's probably not shocking. But Tyler Allegeier is, again, he could finish with some top 20 seasons. Just due to athleticism, it's going to be really damn hard for him to ever, work his way in that top 12 in any given season, most likely. But if you can find, a middling back-end RB2 in the 2nd round of your rookie drafts, you're probably happy with that. So Algiere is a guy to keep an eye on. And this last one here is probably, in my mind, the most exciting. It's Tyler Badie. And what Tyler Badie does, I mean, he's a Giovanni Bernard clone in every single way. And if you remember early on in the NFL, Giovanni Bernard, obviously, Gio was picked in the 2nd round. That's not going to be the case here. I mean, I'll be shocked if he's a round 3 pick. It could happen, but I don't bank on it. But he is a freaking, it sounds mean to call him, he's a jitterbug. He is shifty as hell. He can run through arm tackles, and he has a nose for the end zone. That's what I'm looking for in a running back of his size. Again, only 5'8". He still has, above average speed. He is running, I don't have it directly in front of me, he's running a low 4.4s, and he is an elite pass catcher. He is a 97th percentile pass catcher, over an 18% target share this last season, adding 50 catches. He probably has the highest floor of all 3 of these guys. I mean, there's no way around it, because pass catching could keep him just kind of around in an offense. He very well could find his way into flex consideration most weeks if he's carving out at least a 3rd down role. And we saw enough from him on the ground that he very well could fill in as a 3-down running back. Again, is that something I anticipate for his entire career? No, just because his stature makes it difficult for him to hold up that long. But as a spot starter, I think he'll be a extremely, trendy handcuff once people realize, all right, he is a phenomenal pass catcher. He's going to be a 3rd down back in the NFL. It just depends on what team drafts him, which head coach does he get. If he gets a coach that is willing to get creative with him, you could probably see him working out of the slot as well. Tyler Badie is a fun one. He's just a fun player right now to analyze, to keep an eye on. Again, if he goes round 4 to a team, again, I'll throw out Atlanta because they're an obvious one. If he lands in Atlanta, another guy I think that could have a great season and kind of surprise people as a trendy sleeper here. All right, guys, so that's all we got. 3 quick names. If you got questions, comments on any of them or other players, drop it in the comments below. Obviously, we'll answer as many as we can for you. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.